뭐라고요? What did you say? This is one of the most common ways just to ask someone to repeat something. But if you're a beginner, well, actually, if you're any level in Korean, you probably don't just want to repeat this same phrase over and over again every single time you miss something. So in this lesson, I'm going to talk about how you can ask someone to restate or maybe clarify or confirm something that they've said, but in a more natural way. But first, I have to say thank you to the sponsor of this video, you. My Patreon members and channel supporters, you are sponsoring this channel. You're allowing me to keep making videos like these. Thank you so much. And if you would also like to join and help to support me in this channel, I'll have a link in the description box below for how you can do that. So instead of just saying, what? Over and over again, like someone with hearing issues, let's talk about a different way. So a more natural way to ask someone to confirm what they said or restate something is actually to just repeat it back to them. But you can't just copy what they said and repeat it. That would be unnatural. For example, if someone said, let's eat a kilogram of kimchi, and you didn't understand them, or maybe you did understand them and you just didn't believe that they said that they're going to eat a kilogram of kimchi, you could repeat back to them in English, for example, let's eat a kilogram of kimchi? By the way, do not eat a kilogram of kimchi. I can't even imagine how much salt you would be consuming or how bad your body odor would smell the next day. So to do that, you're going to make quotes. And in this lesson, I'm going to cover that as simply as possible. To make a quote, to repeat back what they said, you first start with exactly the sentence that they said, or the sentence as you heard it. And there are actually 4 different types of quoting forms that you're going to have to use depending on what it is that they said. So first, let's just talk about if someone said something that's not a question. They didn't make a suggestion. They didn't say, let's do something. They didn't give a command. They didn't say, do something. They just said something. Here's how to make those sorts of quotes. For example, someone tells you they like anchovies. So they say, 멸치를 좋아해요. So I like anchovies. Well, how would you repeat that back to someone in English? You would just say, you like anchovies? Well, you could, of course, just say, 멸치를 좋아해요, but that's not really repeating what they said. It's simply asking a follow-up question. To repeat what they said, here it's not a question. It's not a suggestion. You're not saying, let's do this. You're not making a command. You're not telling someone to eat anchovies. You're just saying a statement. So to do this, you simply change the final verb here, 좋아하다, into the plain form. Now, I'll link a video in the description box for how to make the plain form if you want a full lesson about it, but here's the really simple version. You're going to either attach a nian ta to the end of the verb stem if it ends with a vowel, or you're going to attach 는 ta if the verb ends in a consonant. So in this case, what's the verb? 좋아하다. And what's the stem of 좋아하다? Well, to get the stem, all you do is remove the ta at the end when you have its basic dictionary form here. So ha ends with a vowel, so you're going to attach nian ta, and you get 좋아한다. Or let's say we had a different verb in the sentence. Let's say we had the verb 받다. 받다 ends with 받 once we get the verb stem, which is a consonant, so we can go 받는다, 받는다. Now, there are some exceptions for that, like if the verb stem ends with this, or what if you're using the past tense or the future tense, but that's the majority of what you're doing. So once you have that plain form, here again, 좋아한다. Once you have that plain form, all you're going to do is attach one syllable to the end, 고. This makes it into a quote. So when someone sees anything followed by 고, or when they hear it, they're automatically going to feel like this is a quote. In English, we would do this by imagining quotation marks around what someone said. This does the same thing. So when they hear this, they're going to know it's a quote right away. So again, think of this 고 whenever you see it after a sentence as being floating quotation marks. And I think that'll help not just with this usage, but with other usages as well. Then, if you're speaking politely, you'll also want to add 요. So either 고 to your friends or 고요 to other people. and you're done. Then I'll ask you, if someone says 멸치를 좋아해요, and you want to repeat back to them, you like anchovies? How would you do that? I'll give you a second to reply. 멸치를 좋아한다고요? So it's repeating the quote back to them. I like anchovies. You like anchovies? You say? In fact, all 4 of the quoting forms we're going to do work the same way. I want to do this. You want to do this? Let's go. Let's go. Do it. Do it. Is it? Is it? That would get really annoying if you did that. You get the idea. Okay, so this was just for regular statements. So someone just says something. But we still need to talk about questions and suggestions and commands. So let's move on. If someone asks you a question though, it's even simpler. You're only going to need a different form, which is just the 냐 ending, which is a question ending. And the way it works is you simply attach this directly to a verb stem. Now there are some exceptions. Again, you might be using it with certain verbs with certain endings, or the past tense or the future tense, but don't worry about that because the way it works is going to be the same. You attach 냐 to the verb stem, and then just like before, 고. And then if you're speaking politely, you'll make it into a question. So, do you like anchovies? 멸치를 좋아해요? How would you repeat that back if you didn't quite hear them, or you're not sure if you heard them correctly, or you just want to confirm, like, do I like anchovies, you ask? How would you do it? 멸치를 좋아하다 is the regular verb, so 좋아하냐고요? Do I like anchovies, you ask? Again, as soon as they hear this 고, they're going to instantly know that it's a quote. So it's not you asking them, they're going to know you're quoting something. So, 멸치를 좋아해요? 멸치를 좋아하냐고요? Do I like anchovies? Like, is that even a question? Okay, next let's talk about suggestions. So let's say that someone makes a suggestion to you. Let's do something. In this case, let's do a simple verb, 가다, to go. 가자, let's go. The way to do this is you actually just take the 다 ending. So this normally would be a casual ending. Just know that whether they made a casual suggestion or a polite suggestion, you're going to use this form after the verb stem, again with 고, just like before, and then 요 if you're being polite, as a question. So, 가자, let's go. Let's go? How would you do that? So, 가자, 가자고요. So let's go, you say? That's really all there is to this one. Okay, let's go on to commands. So let's say someone tells you, 멸치를 먹어요, eat some anchovies, and you want to repeat back, eat anchovies? You told me to do that? That's a command? You say? So how do you do that? Well, you take the verb stem, just like before, and you're going to attach this ending, which on its own is a command ending. It would not be polite if you used it on its own, but with quoting, it's fine. So that would be 으라 after a consonant. Again, this is after the verb stem, or just 라 if it ends in a vowel. And then what do we do? Well, just like before, 고. And then if you want to be polite, 요, and make it into a question. So if someone told you to eat anchovies, how would you repeat back to them? Eat anchovies, you say? 멸치를, the verb is 먹다, to eat, so the stem is 먹, which ends in a consonant, so we're going to say 먹으라고요. So eat anchovies? That's it. There is one important exception though that I do have to talk about, and that is for the verb 주다. 주다 means to give. Now, this exception is only for that command form. If someone tells you to give something to them or give something to someone else, well, we're going to make a command to repeat it back to them. So, did you say give this to you, or did you say give this to someone else? For example, if someone says 멸치를 주세요, give me anchovies, you would take the verb 주다, you would get the stem by removing 다. Now you have 주, just like before, you attach 라, 고, 요, 주라고요. However, that's actually wrong. There are actually two forms that you need to learn for 주다. Again, this is only with the command form. So this is only when you're making quotes of a command. 주라고, which is what we already learned, and 달라고. Now, you have to know who is asking for it and who is getting that. So you could both say 멸치를 주라고요, 멸치를 달라고요, and both of these mean give anchovies, you say, but the meaning is very different. First of all, anytime somebody's asking for something and they're the ones that's going to receive that, you're going to use 달라고. So the person asking is the same person that's receiving it. They are getting it for themselves. So if they said, give it to me, whatever it is, you're going to repeat that by changing 주다 into 달라고. So if they said 멸치를 주세요, you have to say 멸치를 달라고요. You could not say 주라고요 because they are the ones who are getting the anchovies. If, however, and this is less common, but still sometimes does happen, if they were saying 철수에게 멸치를 주세요. So please give anchovies, not to me, but to 철수. So they are asking for you to give something not to themselves, but to someone else. Then you use 주다 into 주라고. So if they said, please give anchovies to 철수, you would say 멸치를 주라고요. You're saying give anchovies, not to yourself, but to 철수. Again, this sort of usage is much less common. 99% of the time when someone's saying 주다, they're asking for something for themselves. But if they are asking for someone else, then you have to know this. Okay, that was 4 forms, but there's one more way you can also have people restate or clarify what they said that's even much simpler than these. And that is with the simple ending io after a consonant or 요 after a vowel. So the way this works is you just take a noun or a word, and if it ends in a consonant, you attach io, and if it ends in a vowel, you just attach 요. And this is just for repeating something back to someone else. So if they said, 멸치 좋아해요? Do you like anchovies? Well, you wouldn't need to repeat back necessarily, are you asking me if I like anchovies? You could also just say, 멸치요? Anchovies? And that also can convey the meaning of, is that what did you just say anchovies? This is only for one word. So you would have to be confident that you did hear the rest of the sentence correctly, but if you missed just one word, then this is a method that I would recommend. And this lesson actually could keep going on and on because there are lots of other ways you can make quotes, but I'll stop there. But if you want to learn more about quoting, I'll also link to another video in the description which gives another lesson about how to do quotes. So are there any other ways that you know of to have someone confirm what they said or to restate something? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching and for those of you who are supporting my channel, and I'll see you again in the next video. 그럼 다음에 또 봐!